Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we have been discussing more of the specifics from each of the chapters of my new book. And these are original concepts that I'm sharing with you, new concepts. And I wanted to go into them a little bit more, explain them more, help you maybe understand or connect some more dots for yourself so that you can work with these energies more intentionally, more consciously, and of course, understand yourself even more. So now we are on part 5 of the series, and we're going to discuss Mars, and that is starting on chapter, well, it's part 5, chapter 9, page 155. I know some of you are following along with your book, so that's where I am referencing here. And in the book, we describe your Mars sign as how it connects to your divine masculine expression, how it really relates to what you want, how you go for it, how you assert yourself. Now, I did another video for you here on YouTube, bringing up more around these overall themes. And I'm not going to repeat myself in this video. Instead, we're going to take it even further. And I want to describe another part of your natal Mars energy and what to be aware of in yourself in terms of what you can reprogram. So in the other video where I discussed this Mars energy, we brought up the idea of how you deal with conflict, how you stand up for yourself, how you fight, whether that is something that's done in a healthy way or whether it can be excessive at times. Also, your Mars is directly related to your unconscious emotional programming to your responses. So your fight or flight response is connected to your Mars. And now we know it as fight or flight, or freeze or fawn. Look at your Mars, the Mars sign. Also look at any aspects your Mars makes in your chart to other planets or points. When Mars is conjunct another personal planet, Sun, Moon, Mercury, or Venus, Mars energizes it. Mars can be more dominant. Mars can be the stronger energy when it's conjunct a personal planet, and then it shifts when Mars is conjunct a transpersonal or outer planet. So Mars conjunct Saturn, Saturn tempers that Mars energy, it tempers that response. So what we're tapping into here with your Mars is primal. It's primal because even when you think back to when you were younger, 11, 12, 13, what were your responses to things in your environment, to stimuli, information, other energies? And how did you respond to that? It can be strongly connected to your Mars. Because again, Mars is how you maybe want to prove or fight or demonstrate, how you go for what you want. And that can be a healthy Mars. But if your Mars is in a more passive sign, Mars in Cancer, Mars in Pisces, Mars in Libra, the energy is very different. And you could have more of that flight response, like Mars in Pisces is a flight. Get me out of here. I don't want to deal with conflict. The energy of the freeze, like the environment or the energy is so strong that you don't know what to do, right? You just freeze. Or you fawn, right? When you're just like looking at it and there's things that you're trying to figure out or just observing. Those 4 responses can be connected to your Mars. Again, this is the primal, unconscious Mars, and it will depend on how well you know your Mars, if you have elevated it, if it has become more conscious of you, for you. If it's something you're already aware of, you already worked with, then you would have, perhaps more of a different understanding. But your Mars sign can be so primal and unconscious that it connects to your fight or flight response, and that is something you can reprogram. And so I have my visual here still of the 7 chakras, and when you think of your Mars or you feel it, where does it feel energetically correct for you? And chances are for most people, your natal Mars feels energetically correct in one of the bottom 3 chakras. And that's because these are the chakras of survival, of self-identity, of self-expression and knowing yourself. And your Mars is connected to that because Mars is also your ego. How you stand up for yourself, how you show up for yourself, the confidence you exude or you don't exude. So typically Mars energetically connects to the bottom 3 chakras. And it's a primal energy that shows how you are interacting with the energies in your environment, especially things that happen quickly or rapidly, like it's that gut instinct, right? That's Mars. That sense of you have an immediate unconscious reaction. That's Mars. Now, it can be healthy and supportive. It can be disruptive and rebellious and a troublemaker. So this is something for you to self-reflect on and know in yourself. But what I wanted to show you basically is that you can always reprogram and elevate your Mars. And in fact, that's actually one of the bigger themes on the planet at this time is how we are consciously working with our primal fight or flight responses. Because when we're consciously aware and we're tempering it and we're aware of what is healthy, what's not healthy, what's needed in the situation, what's not needed, what's excessive, that's how we are really evolving as a species, where we're moving out of those survival instincts, out of that primal response and becoming more conscious and aware of all of our energy and how we are sharing that energy and putting it out there. So the visual I have for you here is one where if you see that Mars in the bottom 3 chakras, you can elevate it up. You can work on consciously moving the energy up. You can do this visually, you can do this in meditation, however it works for you. But it's something where this is where you're actually accessing more of your primal conscious power by understanding what that Mars is communicating to you in the moment. That gut level response. You get rear-ended by a car. Someone slams into your shopping cart. Someone flips you off. I don't know, I'm trying to think of things that would piss you off, right? Things that where you're like, you have that immediate response. And some people have a very big response and some people have no response, right? They're like so unbothered. They're cool as a cucumber no matter what's going on. But your Mars is communicating to you often through your emotions and or your physical body, some kind of energy. So once you're able to identify that, once you're aware of it, and again in the book, we talk about what that looks like for each of the Mars signs, then what you want to do is elevate that energy up in yourself where it's not like stuck in the bottom chakras, which would basically be stuck in a primal unconscious response. You have the ability to evolve that and to say, okay, how am I going to work with this energy? How am I going to move this? What can I do with this? And that takes time, right? That takes work. And this also directly relates to those nervous system responses. Can relate to trauma. If there's things in your life that you've had to survive, you've had to fight for, you've had to live through, your Mars remembers that. Your Mars maybe got you through it. Your Mars would probably have some energetic impressions of those situations or circumstances. And as you become more aware of this Mars and what it shows how it operates for you, this is where you then reprogram those responses. You work with them consciously. You're aware of what your nervous system is feeling and sensing in an environment, and you're in your place of conscious awareness to reprogram it. So this Mars is very important, and it can certainly help you be more confident, more courageous, more in command of your energy, more aware of your responses. Now in the Mercury video, I talked about how your Mercury wants to basically be the PR or the mouthpiece for your other planets. So your Mars has some things to express, whether that involves 4-letter words in traffic or whatever it might be. And your Mercury can be that ally or companion to help move that Mars energy in a way that fits for you. And I also feel like this Mars, like I'm getting the image of, it can burn really brightly, right? It can be like the brightest red, the brightest orange, the brightest yellow. And that can be a beautiful thing. But if it's too intense, which Mars can be very intense, if it's too intense, how can you still feel strong without it being like that blazing Mars? And this is different, right? Like Mars in Virgo is different than Mars in Sagittarius. So, you know, I'm speaking in generalities here, and then you would apply it to your own chart and your own Mars. But it's just becoming aware of that Mars primal response and how you can be more aware of that energy, reprogram it so you're feeling more in control of that response. This is definitely trial and error work. This is definitely ongoing practice. It's not like you shift your primal responses overnight. It's not like you work on it for a week and you're good to go. This takes ongoing practice, and it can be the little things that help shift it, where you're like, oh wow, I had a big response to that, or oh, I'm feeling a lot around that. Mars in Aries, very in the moment, very big, fast, immediate reactions, very impulsive, to the point where you're like, ugh, maybe my Mars in Aries is too much, and I need to temper that a bit. Breathe through it. Take a 5-minute walk before responding. So this is where you can powerfully reprogram your own responses that maybe you didn't realize before. But that is one of the beautiful gifts of this Mars, of your Mars sign consciousness. And then also connecting that to the divine masculine energies and the healthy expressions of Mars, which I discuss in the book, and help you get to more of this fuller consciousness around what your Mars is here to do, what your Mars can accomplish and enjoy, and really how it can exert itself in a healthy way. But in order to do that, we have to understand our own primal responses. And your Mars can give you wonderful insights into that. And always hindsight. In fact, I know I talk about that a lot in my videos, where you look back on hindsight. Okay, what was I going through? What was my response? What was that about for me? And your Mars can show you how you responded and how you're going to do it differently next time. And then you continue the experiment, or you continue practicing. But also, I know some of you are going to ask, well, what do I mean when I say, well, spiral it up? Okay, so first, where would you place your Mars? Like, where does it feel energetically in your body? Root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus. Then you would spiral the energy up first. Connect it to the heart. How does it feel when I put this energy out into the world? And also, when you're going to the heart chakra, you can tap into, how do other people feel around my responses? Because sometimes with Mars, people can feel really unsafe if you're flying off the handle, or if you're a hothead, or if you erupt. I mean, I know these are the extremes, but when you're connecting it to the heart chakra, you're tuning into how it feels. Not only how it feels for you, but how it feels for others. Do you feel guilt? Like, oh, I should have handled that better. Or, I don't want to do that again. Tap into what that heart chakra says and feels. Then next you go up to throat chakra, third eye, and then crown. And then it would be the throat chakra. Well, how could I express that better? How could I communicate what is happening within me better? Third eye chakra would be about even tapping into the bigger picture of the energy that you're putting out there. The third eye can show you more of where the energy is going, kind of like the ripple effects. And then crown chakra is going to show you what you're energetically learning, the much higher perspective, but the spiritual understanding, even the, I'm going to call it energetic consequences of some of those ripple effects. Because think about how the very top there, that crown chakra, it is kind of like at the top of the lighthouse, right? So what do you see up there? What do you see up there that the bottom three chakras don't see? Right? You could even look at this as like 7 floors in a building. The higher up you go, your perspective changes. And I also think that when you look at it as the top here, the crown chakra, there's like this understanding of, how is this serving me? Is this how I want to show up? Is this the best use of my energy? Like, you ask those bigger questions. So I feel like this is a good way to see your own energy, to see what's being created, what's being expressed, how it's going out into the world, and then to understand how you can navigate it differently, change some of those expressions, again, reprogram it, and still honor the healthy Mars expression. I mean, it's healthy to be angry. It's healthy to be frustrated. And yeah, we get impatient. And yeah, there's times when, you could have a lot of big energy around something. But it's always what you do with it, right? How you express it, how you share it, how you put it out there. And understanding your Mars can tap you into more of that consciousness. Okay, so hope this has given you some really good things to be aware of in yourself, to look at, and to also connect in your own natal astrology chart, because it is really fascinating. The more we tap into these layers of energies in ourselves, what we see, what we understand, and how we really know ourselves even more and even better as a result of astrology. It's just one of the reasons why astrology is awesome. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to all of you who have written reviews and given feedback on the new book. I'm so grateful that it's benefiting you. You can buy it in digital, paperback, and audiobook formats. And I hope it's something that you continue to reference and use as you go forward on your path. So as always, thank you for joining me here on the YouTube channel. I'll be back soon with another video. In the meantime, please check out the playlists here for the other videos and teachings I offer, and I hope they resonate as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you back here soon.